There is a specific kind of silence that surrounds a person who is marked for something greater. It is the silence of isolation, the silence of betrayal, the silence of being in a room full of people and realizing no one in that room can hear the frequency you operate on. You know that silence. You have lived in it. And if you are watching this, if your soul burned just enough to click on a video with a title like this, it is because you are starving for someone to explain why your existence feels like a war zone while everyone else seems to be asleep. You are not asleep. You have never been asleep. You have been the one awake at 3 a.m., not because of insomnia, but because something in your spirit was wrestling with the unseen. You have been the one who feels the weight of a room the moment you walk into it. You sense the tension, the jealousy, the hidden agenda. You feel the shift in the atmosphere before anyone speaks. And for this, you have been called dramatic. You have been called sensitive. You have been called difficult. But what if I told you that your sensitivity is not a flaw? What if I told you that the very thing they use to isolate you is the antenna that picks up signals from a dimension they cannot access? Let's talk about the pain. Let's talk about the specific, gut-wrenching pain of being misunderstood by the people who were supposed to see you. You have been betrayed, not just by enemies, but by friends, by family, by the people you defended when others spoke against them. You gave them your energy, your loyalty, your resources, and in return, they handed you over to the wolves. They sat at your table, ate your bread, and then plotted your downfall in the dark. You carry the scars of conversations you overheard, of text messages you weren't meant to see, of eyes that used to look at you with love, but now look at you with calculation. They want to know what you have. They want to know why you glow even when you are going through hell. And because they cannot understand it, they want to extinguish it. You have been rejected. Oh, the rejection. You have been the one not picked for the team, not invited to the party, not included in the group chat. You have been the one whose ideas are stolen and then executed by someone else, who gets the promotion you deserved, who gets the credit for the vision you birthed. You have been the one standing on the outside looking in, wondering what is so fundamentally wrong with you that no door stays open. But stop. Stop right there, because the rejection you are experiencing is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to carry your weight. You are not being rejected because you are broken. You are being rejected because you are too whole for a broken system. You are set apart. That is not a cute phrase to put on an inspirational poster. That is a spiritual reality that comes with a cost. When you are set apart, you cannot fit in. It is physically, spiritually, and psychologically impossible for you to assimilate into environments that are not designed for your frequency. Think about it. Have you ever tried to force yourself to be like them? Have you ever dimmed your light, bit your tongue, played small just to keep the peace? And how did that feel? It felt like death, because it was death. Every time you pretend to be something you are not, you suffocate a part of your soul. They do not understand you because they are not supposed to. If they understood you, you would stay. And you cannot stay. You have a destiny to walk into. Now, let's go deeper. Let's talk about why they tried to break you. This is where psychology meets spirituality. Human beings are wired for survival, and part of that survival mechanism is the comparison process. When someone encounters a person who is operating at a higher frequency, it triggers an unconscious fear in them. Your light exposes their darkness. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your obedience to your calling exposes their complacency. And the human ego cannot handle that. So, instead of rising to meet you, they try to bring you down to their level. They try to break you, not because you have done something wrong, but because your existence makes them feel wrong. It is not personal, it is spiritual. It is the collision of light and darkness happening in the physical realm. You have been the target of jealousy that had no logical explanation. People have hated you without reason. They have spread lies about you that had no basis in reality. They have projected their own insecurities onto you and then punished you for the projection. This is the psychology of the shadow. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow self, the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. When someone refuses to deal with their own darkness, they will find someone who embodies the light and try to snuff it out. You are that light, and the more you heal, the more you rise, the more you step into your power, the more their shadow is triggered. They do not hate you, they hate the mirror you hold up to their own unlived life. And this brings us to the core of the message. The title of this video is Why Negativity Blocks Your Wealth, the spiritual law they don't talk about. We have to talk about this now because the intensity is building, and you need to hear this. You have been wondering why the financial breakthrough hasn't come. You have been sowing seeds, working hard, staying faithful, and yet the money seems to slip through your fingers like water. You have had opportunities vanish at the last minute. You have had deals fall through. You have watched others who seem to have less integrity than you accumulate wealth while you struggle. And the enemy has whispered to you that you are cursed. But that is a lie. The spiritual law they don't talk about is this: your vessel must be clean to hold the weight of the wealth that is coming. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. You cannot put jet fuel into an engine designed for regular gas. The wealth that God has destined for you is not just for your comfort. It is for dominion. It is to fund the kingdom work. It is to build the structures that will house the next generation. And if you try to bring that wealth into a spirit that is filled with negativity, resentment, and unforgiveness, you will destroy yourself and the wealth. Think about it. If you are still holding on to the bitterness of the betrayal, your energy field is leaking. Bitterness is a hole in your spiritual pocket. You can work and work and work, but the prosperity will drain out because your soul is not whole. If you are still speaking negatively about your past, if you are still rehearsing the trauma, if you are still replaying the moment they stabbed you in the back, you are creating a vibrational frequency that repels abundance. The universe, God, the divine source, whatever you want to call it, responds to your frequency. If your frequency is I love victim, the universe will give you more things to be a victim about. If your frequency is I am betrayed, you will attract more betrayals. It is a law. It is not punishment. It is physics. This is why your healing is not just emotional. It is financial. This is why letting go of the negativity is not just about feeling better. It is about unlocking the wealth that has been held in the spiritual realm, waiting for you to mature enough to handle it. They don't talk about this in the mainstream because the mainstream wants you to stay in the cycle of pain and consumption. If you are in pain, you will buy things to numb the pain. If you are in pain, you are easier to control. But you are not meant to be controlled. You are meant to be a ruler. You have to understand that the people who hurt you were actors on a stage, playing a role necessary to drive you out of a place that was too small for you. If the relationship hadn't ended, you would never have moved to the city where your destiny was waiting. If the job hadn't fired you, you would never have started the business that will change your lineage. If the friends had not abandoned you, you would never have developed the intimate relationship with the divine that you have now. They did not do it to you, they did it for you. And when you can forgive them from that place, not because they deserve it, but because you understand the assignment, you cut the cord, you stop the leak, you seal the vessel. There is a psychological phenomenon known as crazy making. It is when someone tries to make you doubt your own reality. They tell you that you are too sensitive, that you are imagining things, that you are paranoid. And if you are the chosen one, you have experienced this. You have felt the shift in the room, and then been told nothing is wrong. You have sensed the lie, and been presented with evidence that it's the truth. This is designed to break your intuition, because your intuition is your greatest asset. It is the guidance system that will lead you to the wealth. If they can make you doubt your gut, they can keep you stuck. But you are waking up now. You are realizing that the very things they criticized you for are your superpowers. Your intensity, That is the fire of God. Your inability to settle? That is the hunger for righteousness. Your tears that come for no reason? That is the intercession of the Spirit, groaning for things words cannot express. You are not broken. You are being assembled. Let's build the intensity here, because I need you to feel this in your bones. There is a shift happening in the atmosphere right now. As you are watching this, there is a spiritual alignment taking place. The things that have been out of order are being reordered. The people who were in the wrong seats are being removed. The doors that were locked are being unlatched by invisible hands. You are entering a season of acceleration. But you cannot enter it dragging the corpse of your past behind you. You have to let the dead bury the dead. You have to make a decision today, and I mean today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel like it, not when they apologize, because they may never apologize. You have to make the decision to release the negativity. You have to say out loud, I forgive them, I release them, I bless them, and I call my wealth back from the spiritual prison it has been held in. You have to stop talking about the problem and start talking about the provision. You have to stop rehearsing the rejection and start rehearsing the royalty that is your birthright. The psychological insight here is profound. Your brain has neural pathways that have been carved out by years of pain. Every time you think about the betrayal, you deepen that groove. Your brain becomes addicted to the chemicals of victimhood, the cortisol, the adrenaline, the self-righteous anger. It feels powerful to be angry, but it is a false power. It is a drug that keeps you impoverished. You have to rewire your brain. You have to catch yourself when the thought comes, and you have to consciously, aggressively redirect it. No, I don't live there anymore. That is not my story. My story is one of victory. This is the work of the chosen one. It is not easy. It is the hardest work you will ever do. It is easier to stay bitter. It is easier to hold a grudge. It is easier to blame them. But easy has never been your path. You were born for the difficult road. You were born for the narrow gate. And on the other side of that narrow gate is a spacious place. It is a place of abundance. It is a place of peace. It is a place where you look back at the betrayal and you actually feel gratitude because it was the fire that forged you into the person who can carry the weight of the coming glory. I want you to think about the wealth that is coming, not just money, though yes, money, but wealth in its truest form: influence, authority, peace, joy, deep abiding relationships with the few who can actually handle you, time freedom, creative expression, the ability to bless others on a massive scale. That wealth is real, it is tangible, and it is blocked by one thing: negativity. Not the economy, not the government, not your ex-boss, not your toxic family, your own negativity, your own refusal to let go, your own insistence on picking at the scab instead of letting the wound heal. This is the spiritual law they don't talk about. They talk about sowing and reaping. They talk about tithing. They talk about positive thinking. But they don't talk about the vibrational reality that your emotional state is a broadcast antenna. You are always transmitting a signal, and the universe is always responding with a return signal. If you are transmitting fear, you get more to fear. If you are transmitting lack, you get more lack. If you are transmitting resentment, you get more reasons to resent. It is law, it is unbreakable, and it is the reason why two people can be in the exact same economic situation and one thrives while the other drowns. It is not about the economy, it is about the frequency. You have to become obsessed with your frequency. You have to guard it with your life. You have to walk away from conversations that lower it. You have to turn off the news that pollutes it. You have to stop scrolling through the social media pages of the people who hurt you. You have to starve the negativity until it dies. And when it dies, something else rises. What rises is your true self, the self that was buried under all that pain, the self that laughs easily, the self that creates without effort, the self that attracts opportunities like a magnet.
That self has been waiting for you to clear the debris. Let me speak to you prophetically for a moment. I don't know your name, I don't know your face, but I know your spirit, and I see the mantle on your life. It is heavy, it is glorious, it is unlike anything your family line has carried before. You are a generational breaker. You are the one who stands at the crossroads and says, "No more." The curse stops here. The poverty stops here. The rejection stops here. The loneliness stops here. And when you make that declaration, the universe has to respond. The angels have to move. The wealth has to be released. But you have to mean it. You have to mean it with every fiber of your being. You have to be willing to let go of the need to be right. You have to be willing to let go of the need for them to understand. You have to walk into your destiny alone if necessary, knowing that alone with God is a majority. When you have that kind of resolve, the negativity cannot touch you. It slides off you like water off a blade. You become untouchable. Not because you build walls, but because your frequency is so high that lower vibrations cannot coexist with it. This is your moment. This is the turning point. You have been in the wilderness long enough. You have learned the lessons. You have been tested and tried and proven. And now the Father is looking at you, and He is saying, "Daughter, son, it is time. It is time to come up higher. It is time to take your seat. It is time to receive the inheritance that has been kept for you since before the foundation of the world. But you must leave the baggage at the door. You must leave the negativity in the wilderness. You cannot bring it into the promised land." I feel the weight of this. I feel the urgency. This is not a casual message. This is a divine summons. You are being called to rise. You are being called to release. You are stepping into the wealth, the influence, and the authority that has your name on it. The enemy has used people to try to block you, but those people are no longer relevant. Their opinion of you is no longer relevant. Their betrayal is no longer relevant. What is relevant is your response. What is relevant is your obedience to the law of frequency. What is relevant is your willingness to choose joy, to choose peace, to choose forgiveness, not because it is easy, but because it is the only way to the wealth. And here is the mystery. The very people who tried to break you will one day witness your elevation. They will see you walking in the wealth, the peace, the joy that they tried to steal, and it will be a testimony to them. It will be a sign that there is a God who sees, a God who vindicates, a God who restores. But you cannot be looking back at them for validation. You have to keep your eyes forward. You have to walk past them into your destiny. The psychological shift that happens when you truly forgive is you reclaim your power. As long as you hate them, they control you. As long as you resent them, they own a piece of your mind. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. It is the act of cutting the cord. It is the act of saying, "You no longer have access to my energy." And when you do that, all that energy that was being drained by the past comes flooding back into your present. It fuels your creativity. It fuels your business. It fuels your relationships. It fuels your wealth. You are standing at the edge of a new beginning. Behind you is the pain, the betrayal, the isolation, the rejection. Ahead of you is the promise. But there is a chasm between you and the promise. That chasm is called letting go. You cannot fly into your future carrying the weight of your past. You have to drop it. You have to release it. You have to watch it fall into the abyss and not look back. I know it hurts. I know the tears still come some nights. I know you still have questions. I know you still wonder why they did what they did. But some questions will never be answered on this side of eternity, and you have to be okay with that. You have to trust that the one who called you is faithful. You have to trust that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. You have to trust that the pain has a purpose, and the purpose is about to be revealed. When the wealth comes, and it will come, you will understand why you couldn't have it 5 years ago. You would have used it to validate yourself to the people who rejected you. You would have used it to build a monument to your own ego. You would have used it to try to buy